Hey there, welcome to the archives. So I thought I would do a book share today. These are all Indigenous books, Indigenous to Canada or Turtle Island. So two are from the same author. Danielle. Sometimes I feel like an oak. Sorry, I don't know if you could see. Sometimes I feel like an oak. So it's by Danielle, and it's illustrated by Jackie Traverse. And it says, sometimes I feel like an oak, solid, mighty, and stout. 12 lyrical poems look at 12 different trees from early spring to deep winter. In each poem, a child identifies with a feature of the tree, such as the smooth trunk of a birch whose bark has peeled away, or the strong branches of a spruce that shelters small birds. The poems provide an opportunity to learn about each tree, inspiring us to look afresh at the trees around us, get to know them better, and recognize the many ways that we are similar. Danielle's passion for trees is beautifully matched by Jackie Traverse's paintings, which bring each tree to life. And in the author's notes, she shares a brief similar to her Algonquin ancestors, that trees are sentient beings with much to give and teach us. 100% agreed. 100% agreed. In one of my books, in an essay, I write about two of her babysitters, and I think I ended up making one Sinhalese, but I think they were Sinhalese. I'm not sure. I had a Sri Lankan babysitter when I was younger, and then I also had an Indigenous. I'm not sure which nation or tribe or people she was from, but I remember having, she lived on our street, so I write about that as one of the babysitters in Nana Essie's story. And in the story, she teaches Nana Essie about trees. So I love this because trees are so important, and I went to the park and they were cutting branches and trimming it. And it just was, I always feel, it's just so painful to see that sometimes, because I'm just like, do they talk to the trees? Do they like introduce themselves, as I was talking about in a couple videos ago, from braiding sweetgrass? And it's just this assumption that trees are just nothing. They're just there. We cut them down for lumber and wood and material and consumption, but like they are sentient beings. So let's see the author's note. It says, like my Algonquin ancestors, I believe that trees are sentient beings with spirits who can feel things. Tree people can be hundreds, if not thousands of years old. Many of them provide us with traditional medicines, and they hold a deep wisdom. They can teach us so much about ourselves if we take the time to visit with them. Look thoughtfully, listen carefully, and reflect often. Trees can also teach us about taking care of each other by the way they live and grow together harmoniously in the forest, despite being from different families. My hope is that we will greet every tree we meet as we would a person, worthy of kindness, respect, protection, and love. And this is what I mean. And I think this is often where I've been paying attention to some of the comments online, and they're just like, it's just like there's so much lack of empathy. It's just, Bell Hooks said it best. Like, we live in a narcissistic culture, and I know others have talked about narcissism as like white supremacy. I think T with Q and J, Queen and J, have talked about narcissism as like white supremacy, and it's just, when you look at it, it's just like, yeah, you guys look very, very, very like, because what, right? And it's just like compassion, care, empathy is like, there's an attack. Empathy is anti-empathy, right? Meanwhile, the same people are saying that are Christians, and Jesus was like the most empathetic person. So it's just really interesting how cultures are so different, and because of who runs the world and who runs the cultures, they're going to war right now. That's not the Indigenous way, or maybe it is to defend yourself, but I mean, like, I don't know. We just need to have more respect for nature, And I'm really glad this story's here. I haven't read this yet. So this is one. And then there's also another one by Danielle. Sometimes I feel like a river. Yes, thank you. Oshun would be so happy. Because don't forget the river either. One of my favorites. So sometimes I feel like the sun, bright and early rising. In each of 12 short poems, a child tells us how they feel like a river, a mountain, a cloud, a rain, a forest, and more. Their deep identification with these wonders points to how much we are all part of the natural world. With playful, immersive illustrations, sometimes I feel like a river serves as a gentle call to action to protect our environment, while delighting in all its beauty. So the same author has also Sometimes I Feel Like a Fox. I haven't read that yet. Yeah, so the authors know. We are made of the sun and the moon, the rain and the forest, and they are made of us. We are connected to the natural world through our biology, our ancestors, and our hearts. My hope is that children and adults alike will continue to look at these marvels with awe and reverence. Amen. There is so much beauty that surrounds us. There is so much to celebrate and champion. Together we can help protect the natural world with which we share so much. We are made of rainbows and rivers, and they are made of us. Again, a lot of white people don't like this. They're like, boo, boo. They just like don't love love. It's just like hate, fear, war, destruction, yeah. You're like, who taught you that? That's what you guys learned? Yeah, that's what you guys are doing to each other in Europe. They were just tearing each other apart, and then they got bored and took it out on us. It's just like, what is the psyche? What is behind that? What is that mentality? War, war, war. Machine, yeah, fuck it. Like, you're just like, ugh. Oh, I'm not supposed to swear, my bad. Oh, my bad. Anyways, we have Alego. So this one is written again in Inuktitut, and it also has an English translation. So it says, Alego, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Alego is a beautifully simple story about a young Inuit girl who goes to the store with her grandmother to collect clams for supper. Remember the other book was also, she went hunting for clams in the water. Along the way, she discovers tide pools brimming with life. A bright orange starfish, a creepy crawly thing with many legs called an ujunnak. Well, Ujgunnak. I don't know if I pronounce it. Ugjunnaq. A horn-shaped sea snail with a sculpin. Before the tides come in, Alego and her grandmother return home with their catch. So this is written and illustrated by Ningiukulu Teevee. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I apologize. Ningiukulu Teevee, one of the most interesting young artists in Kingiat, Cape Dorset, home of the great tradition of Inuit art. This is an enchanting and utterly authentic introduction to the life of an Inuit child and her world. So it has the Inuktitut and then the English. There's a glossary of sea creatures as well as pictorial map of Baffin Islands. Baffin Islands, that's way, way, way north. I love geography, but like I'm not very good with northern Canada. Arctic Bay, Bylot Island, Pond Inuit. What is that animal with the, what is that called again? With the, it looks like a dolphin, but it has a unicorn thing. And then it has a glossary, so you can go through. One last one I'll share. Shi-shi-etko. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Shi-shi-etko. I think these are all, yeah, these are all groundwood books, because they shared them. I think these are all groundwood for Indigenous Awareness Month. Groundwood has great books. I got rejected. No, it was Orca. I got rejected by Orca recently. But they're all great. Go check out all their books. I really am a fan of all of them. Groundwood, Orca Press, Anansi Press. They do, yeah. Anyways, so here, this is Shi-shi-etko. Again, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. This is the last one I'll share, and then I'll get going. In just 4 days, young Shi-shi-etko will have to leave her family and all that she knows to attend residential school. She spends her last days at home treasuring the beauty of her world. The dancing sunlight, the tall grass, each shiny rock, the tadpole in the creek, her grandfather's paddle song. See what I mean? See like the love for nature and like paying attention to those around you other than just humans. The tadpole. Like, when was the last time you even thought about tadpoles? When was the last time you even thought about rocks or the creek? You know what I mean? Like, we don't do that in traditional northern western world. It's just like a tadpole. I saw recently that I think, I don't know if it was North Americans or Europeans, they went to Puerto Rico. Was it Puerto Rico? Where's Bad Bunny from? Bad Bunny's island. And they were complaining about the frogs singing too much. So they were sharing information on how to kill the frogs. And that's what the post was. It's just like, this is some colonizer shit. This is what you guys do. Because you want to get some sleep, you're going to kill off the frogs? Imagine someone was like, humans are annoying. What? That's what they do, actually. That's why they do that. Look at them. They're at war right now. This is what they do. It's just, it doesn't make, I don't understand it. Let people live. Let things live. Let humans live. Let wildlife live. Let the trees live. It's like they have to cut everything down, kill everything, shoot everything, poison everything. Like, why? What is that about? What is that about? What is that about? I really want to, I don't understand it. Why won't they let things live? Mind your own business. Live and let live. They're like, no, we're the only ones. Oh. Lord have mercy. The dancing sunlight, the tall grass, each shiny rock, the tadpole in the creek, her grandfather's paddle song, her mother, father, and grandmother, each in turn share valuable teachings that they want her to remember. And so Shi-shi-etko carefully gathers her memories for safekeeping. Richly hued illustrations complement this gently moving and poetic account of a child who finds solace all around her, even though she's on the verge of great loss. A loss that Native people have endured for generations because of the residential school system. So again, this one is, I don't know, let things live. Not everything has to always be destruction. Not every, like, if that's where you get your power from, if you lack power that you need to grab and dominate, and I don't know, but to me, again, it goes back to, like, if you have to sabotage somebody to win, that means you already know you're a loser and you will lose against them, so you're cheating to win. That means you're not the winner. You only won because you literally ruined everything around you in order to win. That's not strength. Domination is actually quite weak. It's giving very small dick energy, you know? But, like, again, what do I know? I'm just like the feminist whore that, like, just talks too much. So I'm gonna get going. Until next time, read your kids some indigenous books. Teach them to, like, respect nature and the wildlife. Teach them to talk to the trees and to thank them. Teach them to, like, respect humans. Not everything is about war. Not everything is about destruction. Not everything is about eugenics. Not everything is about death and dying. Is it Mbembe who talks about necropolitics? Not everything is about death and dying. Sometimes it's okay to let things live. Anyways, until next time, in solidarity.